I made 3 games for 3 popular Twitch streamers, and maybe a 4th if you watch till the end. This video is sponsored by BetterHelp, but more on that later, and thank you to these patrons over on Patreon. So over the past 1+ year, I've been working on my first game called Muster, but I kept hearing from much more experienced indie game developers that it's just good to release a couple games regardless of if they're good, just to kind of get that experience. And as the master of uncompleted side projects and scope creep himself, I decided to try this out, but with some more flavor. So I decided to make 3 actually playable games, all themed around 3 popular streamers. As a warning, these games are scuffed, but they are mostly functional. First, the literal god himself, Asmongold. Now, Asmongold is one of those streamers I watch the most, but mostly the YouTube clips industrial complex that surrounds him. If you don't know him, he's a popular streamer in the mmorpg community, but also reactions and a co-owner of a couple different companies like OTK and Starforge PCs. And for each of these games, I needed to set a specific time restriction for myself. As I mentioned, I am the king of feature creep, and I will literally keep adding things and the game will never be released. So I tried to restrain myself to just a couple hours for each game. Now, the Asmongold game, I had the idea to make kind of like a cookie clicker-esque game because I knew that was relatively quick to implement. Now, there is a joke within Asmongold's community that he's balding. To be truthful, I personally can't even really tell, so instead of doing something around losing hair, this idle clicker game will be about getting hair. And since Asmongold loves random number generators, there are a bunch of those as well. Basically, you click, as you get more and more points, Asmongold gets slightly bigger, and random hairstyles fall from the sky. Of course, I had to add Asmongold into his lair. Now, this game is literally so scuffed, like you can probably crash the game and make the score go negative if you hit like the integer overflow or just spawn a bunch of hairstyles, but I kind of think that's what makes it charming. Every good clicker needs a satisfying click sound, so I added that, and of course background music. Nothing fits better than an original composition by the legend himself, Cat Danny. And ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Asmon Clicker.
A turtle made it to the water. A turtle made it to the water. The cycle of life can be cruel. The cycle of life can be cruel. A turtle, what made it, what made it?
Next up is the streamer Sodapoppin. Now, I watched a ton of Sodapoppin after my senior year of high school, right before going to college, because I got this like temp job for a month just filing paperwork in this medical facility, where I would literally sit in this file room alone and file patient papers alphabetically in these shelves. So I would usually just put on Sodapoppin's stream in the background. And again, for those maybe not familiar, Sodapoppin was a big streamer in the WoW space initially, but now does a lot of variety and is also an OTK with Asmongold. For Soda's game, I really wanted to lean into the name because again, I have limited time and that's just kind of easier. So it's based around those sort of timing mini games. But for this one, you're trying to get that perfect soda open. You know what I'm talking about, where you crack open a nice cold soda and it just makes that perfect dopamine sound. You basically try to stop the pink line in between the 2 green lines. If you do, you get a point and the pink line gets a little bit faster. If you don't, your score gets reset. I added some polish trying to fit the Sodapoppin aesthetic. I think this is his WoW character, so I added that to the soda can, as well as him dressed as Steve Jobs and an anime girl. Of course, I added a soda opening sound and some particles to kind of simulate the soda bubbles, and even animated the little soda tab thing. I also added some catchy EDM in the background, and it almost feels like it could be a rhythm game, but I gotta avoid the scope creep. So for the second game, I give you Sodapoppin. Also, all of these games are actually available right now on my itch.io page, and you can find the link in the description below, and they're all free if for some reason you want to download it. Also, if you want the source code, I will be uploading that to my Patreon. And if you do end up playing Sodapoppin, let me know what score you got in the comments below, because I think I could only get to around 25. And for the last game, I chose the streamer DisguisedToast. So DisguisedToast, I think initially got big with the rise of the card game Hearthstone, and I absolutely loved that game when it came out. Now there's like way too many cards, I can't even like get into the game. But similar to Sodapoppin's game, I tried to lean into the name because it just gives a more defined theme. So for Toast's game, it's kind of like a clue or quiz game, almost like something you'd see at like a bridal party or something. Basically, there are these cute animals in the park, and you're trying to figure out which one is Disguised Toast because he is disguised. Also, you can find the assets I used in the description below. The rest of the characters in the game are also other popular streamers, and they all have a clue to who they might be. If you guess correctly, you gain a point, and if you guess incorrectly, you lose a point. And I actually added a lot of content to this one. Well, I guess as much content as, you know, a couple hours worth of effort. So I think there's something like 20 total streamers that I added, with each of them having at least 5 different clues, with Disguised Toast having more, and every round is some subset of those other streamers with a randomly chosen clue, and Toast obviously. So it's actually way more replayable. And some of the clues could actually apply to multiple people, so there's kind of a little bit of challenge there. Again, I added some polish, and I give you Toast to chat. Now that I have officially published 3 full games, I feel like it's only kind of warranted that I have a little award ceremony, you know? So the 3 categories are, and you can vote on them in the description below, but I'm gonna give you my opinion. The first category is the most polished, the second category is the most fun, and the third category is the most memey. So I'll give you some time to figure out which one you think goes where. All right, so for the most polished game, I think the award goes to Toast to Chat. I mean, it just looks like the most polished game. It's like kind of the most aesthetic looking, or at least compared to the other ones, and it actually feels kind of like a beginner game. For the most fun to play, I actually think Sodapoppin wins, because there's something about that like opening soda can sound and background music that kind of puts you into a trance, and I actually found myself playing it more. And when you get a good streak going, you get those kind of nice dopamine points. And for the most memey, I think it's obvious that it's Asmongold. I mean, just look at it. Any free range physics collisions, I think, just look funny. As a warning, I did not extensively test these games if that wasn't clear. So they may literally break, or they may not work on your computer, but they worked on mine. So, you know, I think that's fair for your first couple games. But if you do download them, I hope you have fun. And with that, I have now released 3, in quotes, full games, so I'm getting pretty close to Valve levels here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and again, if you want the source code and other benefits, check out my Patreon. So you stuck to the end, and I mentioned at the beginning that there might be a 4th streamer, which in this case is Ludwig. Now, Ludwig recently hosted a game jam, at least I think he did. I don't know if it was official, but it seemed like it was, so I started working on a game, but kind of was unable to finish it because of, you know, random personal things and just general timing. I also found out about it late, but I really liked the idea that I had and decided to kind of continue it, so here's a little teaser. We had some goofs and laughs in this video, but I wanted to quickly mention something I take very seriously, which is mental health, and this video's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you. More scheduling, flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Marcella. That's betterhelp.com/Marcella. You can also find the link in the description below. Thank you to BetterHelp for supporting the channel. My name is Michael. We make game development, computer science, college advice, career advice type videos on this channel. If that does sound interesting, consider subscribing. Like this video to help your boy out with that YouTube algorithm. We do a bad British accent at the end of every video. Check out one of my past videos and my past self would thank you dearly, and check out one of my future videos. My future self would also thank you dearly. Let me know what you think of the video and if I should make more games about other streamers or YouTubers or something. That's all for me. Hopefully I see you in another one. Bye bye.